Today we discuss about electric field. Electric field is a region of space around a charge or a system of charges within which other charged particles experience electrostatic forces. Electric field extends up to infinity, but practically it is limited to a certain distance. Electric field strength or electric field intensity. Electric field strength at a point in an electric field is the electrostatic force per unit positive charge acting on a vanishingly small positive test charge placed at that point. Let us consider source charge plus Q. The, the surroundings of source charge plus Q is modified. When we bring test charge Q naught near to plus Q, then test charge Q naught experience force of repulsion, which is represented by F in the figure. If we take negative charge minus Q and bring test charge Q naught near to it, then Q naught will feel force of attraction due to negative charge. Now we want to calculate the electric field of source charge. That's why we have to take test charge very small or neglected. Therefore, the value of the electric field is E is equal to limit del Q tends to 0 F upon delta Q. Or we can write E is equal to F upon Q naught. If we take Q naught is equal to 1, then the value of the electric field is equal to electrostatic force. The test charge is considered to be vanishingly small because its presence should not alter the configuration of the charges, and thus the electric field is intended to be measured. Since Q naught is taken as positive, the direction of the electric field is along the direction of the electrostatic force. Electrostatic force on a negatively charged particle will be opposite to the direction of the electric field. Electric field is a vector quantity whose magnitude and direction are uniquely determined at every point in the field. The SI unit is Newton per Coulomb because the formula of the electric field is E is equal to F over Q. Now we calculate the electric field due to a point charge. Let us consider source charge plus Q placed at origin O, and Q naught is placed at any point P. The position vector of P with respect to origin O is R, and the coordinates of P are X, Y, Z. Therefore, the force experienced by charge Q naught is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught upon R square R cap. This is the force between Q and Q naught. If we replace R cap, then we can write vector R over modulus of R. Now the formula for electric field strength is E is equal to F upon Q naught. When we substitute the value of F, then we get E is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R cube R vector. Now if we draw the graph between electric field and R, the nature of the graph is shown in figure because E is inversely proportional to R square. If the value of Q is greater than 0, then the electric field are radially outward. And if we take the value of charge Q less than 0, then the direction of the electric field is radially inward. If we write the electric field E in the form of coordinates, the value of R is xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap because R position vector and the value of the position vector is this. In the denominator, there is R cube. There we have to substitute the value of modulus R, means magnitude of R, which is x square plus y square plus z square to the power 1 by 2. Because we have to take the cube, that's why the power comes out 3 by 2. Now superposition principle. The electrostatic force experienced by a charge due to other charges is the vector sum of electrostatic forces due to these other charges as if they are existing individually. Let us consider 5 charges: Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 and Q5. we have to calculate the force experienced by charge Q1 because Q2 and Q4 are positively charged. That's why Q1 will feel force of repulsion due to Q2 and Q4. And the forces are F14 and F12. Because Q3 and Q5, they are negatively charged. That's why force between Q1 and minus Q3 is F13, which is the force of attraction. And force between Q1 and minus Q5 is also force of attraction because one is positively charged and other is negatively charged. Now we have to calculate the resultant, and the value of the resultant force is F1 is equal to F12 plus F13 plus F14 plus F15. In generalized form, we write the formula as Fa, Ra position vector, then 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught sigma b is equal to 1 to n, where b is not equal to a, Qa Qb, Ra minus Rb vector. Ra and Rb are the position vectors for Qa charge and Qb charge, and Ra minus Rb whole cube means we take the modulus and then take the cube of this. In this example, if we take A is equal to 1, then B is 2, 3, 4, 5. Now see this figure. We have to calculate F1. So first we draw F12, then we add F13, after that F14, then F15. Join the tail of F12 to the head of F15. That's why F1 is the resultant force, means addition of all these forces. The interactions must be on the charge which is to be studied due to other charges. The charge on which the influence due to other charges is to be found is assumed to be floating charge, and others are rigidly fixed. In the given example which we have taken, first charge is floating charge, and other charges, that is to say Q2, Q4, Q3 and Q5, they are moving. The interactions between the other charges must be ignored because other forces will also act, but we have to calculate the force on Q1 charge. Now, electric lines of force. Electric lines of force is an imaginary straight or curved path along which a unit positive charge is supposed to move when free to do so in an electric field. Electric lines of force do not physically exist, but they represent real situations. Here, see the picture. How we have calculated the electric field line? By drawing tangent at that point. If we have to show the electric lines of force due to a point charge, maybe the point charge be positive or it may be negative. If Q is greater than 0 means positive charge. Then the electric field lines are radially outward. And if Q is less than 0 means negative charge, the electric field lines are radially inward. The length of this field lines, see the arrow, the length of the arrow is continuously decreasing. This means the magnitude of the electric field is continuously decreasing. Arrow shows the direction part and the length of the arrow shows the magnitude. Now, if we take two charges, unlike charges, one charge is positive and the second charge is negative, then the electric lines of force start from positive charge and end at negative charge. Electric lines of force contract lengthwise to represent attraction between two unlike charges. When one is positive and second one is negative, then they are contracted lengthwise. If we take two similar charges, both are positive charges, then N is the neutral point. Neutral point is the point where the two electric fields are equal and opposite to each other and they nullify the effect of each other. And the electric lines of force exert lateral pressure to represent repulsion between two like charges. They apply lateral pressure on each other. Now, if we want to take uniform field, then uniform field is represented by equidistant lines parallel to each other and in the same direction. Now, properties of electric lines of force. First is the electric lines of force are imaginary lines. A unit positive charge placed in the electric field tends to follow a path along the field line if it is free to do so. The electric lines of force emanate from a positive charge and terminate on a negative charge, means it starts from positive and end at negative. If we want to show the direction of electric field at any point, then we draw a tangent at that point. Now the fifth point is very important point. Two electric lines of force can never cross each other. If they do, then at the point of intersection, there will be two tangents. It means there are two values of the electric field at that point, which is not possible. See the figure, two electric fields, yellow lines are two electric fields. Then we have to draw two tangents. This means at the point of intersection, there are two directions of electric field, which is not possible. Electric field being a vector quantity, there can be only one resultant field at the given point, represented by one tangent at the given point for the given line of force. Now, electric lines of force are closer where the electric field is stronger, and the lines spread out where the electric field is weaker. See the figure. Capital Q, the electric lines of force, they are close to each other. And see small q, the electric lines of force, they are away from each other. This means capital Q is greater than small q, and the electric field of capital Q is greater than the electric field of small q. The electric lines of force are perpendicular to the surface of a positive or negatively charged body. See the figure, the electric field lines are perpendicular to the surface of a conductor. Electric lines of force contract lengthwise, which we have discussed earlier, to represent attraction between two unlike charges. And electric lines of forces exert lateral pressure to represent the repulsion between the two like charges. Now next is the number of lines per unit cross-sectional area, means del N upon del A. To the field lines is directly proportional to the magnitude of the intensity of electric field in that region. Means del N upon del A is proportional to E. This is known as the density of lines of force. If they are more dense, then electric field is more. If density is less, then electric field is also less. Electric lines of force do not pass through a conductor. Hence, the interior of the conductor is free from the influence of the electric field. Inside the hollow or the solid conductor, there is no electric field. Because when we take a conductor in an external electric field, one plate is suppose positively charged, second plate is negatively charged. That's why the electric field is from positive to negative plate. Now we place a conductor in between. Then left end of the conductor becomes negatively charged, which is near to positive plate, and right side of the conductor becomes positively charged, which is near to negative. Inside the conductor also there is electric field, but it is equal and opposite to the applied one. That's why the net field inside the conductor is 0. That's why we say that there is no field inside the hollow conductor. But if we take insulator, then electric lines of force can pass through an insulator. Thank you.